Did you see the Armando Bacot clip? Armando Bacot just a treasure trove of clips, but talking St. Peter's, and he had some wild things to say, Cart.
Yeah, is it time we actually listen to this full podcast episode? I feel like I've seen like clip by clip by clip, have not fired up full episode yet.
I need one more viral clip to get me there. It's
Okay,
one of
one more
those.
roster,
Yeah.
it'll get you over the hump.
I need to hear Bacot say some shit like, "Yeah, we knew Hubert Davis wasn't good. We had like I need to see that."
I mean, dog, his name's Hubert, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Theo's like, yeah, Hubert.
So this time his take or his statement that went viral was him discussing the St. Peter's special run to the Elite Eight. If you remember the year that North Carolina made the national championship game, lost to Kansas, they played St. Peter's in the Elite Eight. You may remember St. Peter's from a very special first round upset of Kentucky, and then from 2 rounds later when they upset Purdue in the Sweet 16. St. Peter's was one of the better Cinderellas we've seen in a very long time in college basketball. Doug Edert, the mustache, all of it. Shaheen Holloway was a great group. Here's Armando Bacot's thoughts. St. Peter's was the worst team we played all season in 2022. I don't know how they beat Kentucky. He went on to say he doesn't know how they beat Purdue, which, I mean, yeah, they beat Purdue and Kentucky. They shouldn't have. That was shocking. But to go so far as say that was the worst team we played all season is pretty harsh, I would say. St. Peter's was playing good basketball at that point. They did not play well against North Carolina. There's no doubt about that. But what do you make of these comments? First off, do you think he's right? Do you think St. Peter's was actually the worst team they played all season?
So if you look at their schedule, I don't know if it was an exhibition or not, but they played a team called Elizabeth City State. I feel like that team might be worse than St. Peter's. Looking back at it. But I got this one from some of the comments on this. Is this Armando Bacot's way of throwing a little bit of shade at Kentucky? Because I think it was they played Kentucky earlier, and what was it? Like didn't Kentucky beat the brakes off of UNC earlier that season? I need to double check that. But in any regards, uh, this is two parts of this for me. One is kind of facts, like because honestly, I still don't know how St. Peter's was able to beat Kentucky and Purdue, given who was on those teams and like how those teams were playing. With that said, you just want to be careful not to downplay what they did. And that's where I kind of like, I'm like, I don't really know if I like this statement as much as I think I should, just because I feel like it's downplaying what St. Peter's did.
It is. Here's my takes in order of how strong they are in response to this. Number one, Armando Bacot said some wild shit. No way. Really? Whoa, had no idea. Two, there are 11 different teams on North Carolina's schedule that are analytically weaker than St. Peter's that season per KenPom that year. 11
Really?
different teams. Not only are there 11 different teams they played that are weaker, Card, there are 5 different programs in the ACC that are weaker than St. Peter's. So, for Bacot to come on here talking about they were so bad, I don't know. No, look at your own conference, dog. This team would have finished like 8th in the ACC that year. So I'm not saying they're good, but the ACC has been ass for a decade. And yeah, it's cute that what were they, an 8 seed that year, 8 or 9 seed, made the run to the championship game. But like, let's not act like Carolina was some world beaters. Let's not act like anybody in the ACC was that good this year. Like Boston College, 114th, NC State, 28th, 128th, Louisville, 127th, Florida State, 105th. Georgia Tech, 156th. All those teams were on the schedule, most of them twice. St. Peter's is 102nd in the country. So, like, let's chill on that bullshit a little bit. Third, I agree. It is just crazy looking back that that team won those games, but it's not that crazy when you look at Kentucky. Like, I know Kentucky was good that year. Let's just remind people who was on that roster. Oscar Tshiebwe was the National Player of the Year. He was great. He's also Oscar Tshiebwe. Their second best player was arguably Severe Wheeler. Their third
Who's a double agent?
Their third best player was arguably Keon Brooks. Their fourth best player, Ty Washington, who just got cut from the NBA in year 2. like Davion Mintz, Damian Collins, Lance Ware. Like, team wasn't that great. They had a really good regular season, but like that's one of the weaker Kentucky rosters in a really long time. The more surprising one of the two losses by far to me was Purdue, because you go through the names on that team, it's Jaden Ivey, it's Zach Edey, it's Travion Williams, and that one is still, I feel like that was a gift. Like you see first round upsets that shock people all the time, but Purdue should have done what North Carolina did to St. Peter's, and that's just eviscerate them in the Sweet 16. Didn't happen. Give credit to St. Peter's. They obviously were on a very special run, but I think this is Armando being Armando. I completely disagree with what he's saying with it. And I like your point about it's a little subtle shot at a team that blew them out. Kentucky beat Carolina by 29 points that year in December. You know who else beat Carolina? Purdue beat Carolina by 9 in the non-conference that year. I think he's just taking a little dig at those two programs.
Who's a better villain, Armando or Hunter?
Hunter.
Easily?
Yeah.
You think Hunter would be able to pull a little something off like this though? Like this is like some very, subtle pettiness.
I don't view this as subtle at all. I view this as like he's just beating a dead horse. But I don't know. I think the couple months after Hunter's done playing college basketball are going to be special from a content perspective.
They are going to be special. We got to get him on here. We got to have him telling those stories on here.
Yeah. Car, you know what I love about you?
That I'm handsome?
You're reliable. I can count on you. Honestly, you remind me of Aaron Henry a little bit. Remember when their back was against the wall, nothing was going right, and man just showed up every day. He didn't make excuses. There were no problems. There were just solutions.
Sounds like me.
That's you. And it also reminds me of Duncan Mechanical Solutions, because if you're looking for quality furnace repair, look no further than the heating and air experts that you can trust. Comfort and quality are their standard. They're an HVAC company that serves Northeast Indiana and Southern Michigan, whether it's heating and air conditioning, plumbing, kitchen and bath remodeling, or emergency services when you need them most. Duncan Mechanical Solutions has reliable service that you can count on. Cart, remember when your basement almost exploded?
I remember when my basement almost exploded. I remember when my furnace itself was acting funny. I remember when my AC was acting funny. I wish I had Duncan in my back pocket. I wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been anywhere in Northern Indiana or Southern Michigan that hasn't been perfectly cool or perfectly warm, depending on when the day called for. And that's because of Duncan Mechanical Solutions. They are the presenting sponsor for the month of July. Shout out to Duncan Mechanical Solutions. Go to duncanmechanicalsolutions.com to learn more.